What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekend forecast for the weekend of October 24th and 25th of 2020. Brian here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Hope you guys are doing well. Well, we got this moon in Aquarius. It's going to make a couple aspects this whole weekend, really. So, minus a sextile to Mars today, and then a trine to the Sun and Mercury later tomorrow. It's very much void of course, and I think that this weekend could feel like things aren't, hitting, like there's not, like we're running, one cylinder low in the car or something, and like maybe there's just a little misfire going on, or we might feel a little bit more detached from things, and maybe it's a good time to detach and to really look at our desires and what we want. We do get a Mercury Cazimi on Sunday, but we'll look at the chart for today, Saturday first. So that sun's going to move to 2 degrees. Mercury's starting to really pick up pace. They're going to make their conjunction for that Cazimi tomorrow. And, there's not a whole lot going on with the sun. Like, it's really not aspecting a lot. Here in Scorpio, it's almost like, we just kind of have to focus on our true deep desires and, be able to transmute energy so that we can be in a space where we can truly create and, maybe detaching from anything that's holding us back. I would say that Mars retrograde is in a big spot too here this weekend, where it's kind of free, but it's kind of edgy, almost, about to station direct. So, done with the big squares to Capricorn for now. And it's like we got to make our true desires happen, and we got to identify with what the true desires are and be able to kind of let go of things. I would say that, the big picture today is, I guess, the one aspect the moon's going to make, which is going to be that sextile to Mars. I think we got a green light here to, identify with whatever it is we need and to kind of like switch frequencies to whatever we need to whatever our deepest desires are. Like, there's kind of a green light that's going on midday Saturday that's like, all right, you have you go get what you want, what you desire, and make it happen, and do it maybe differently, with the dispositor of the moon being in Taurus here with Uranus. So it's like, we need to look at reality differently. And I would say that, when it comes to money or anything in the physical nature of life, we got to kind of start to be able to pivot and not get too attached to things. We got to be able to kind of break away and individuate ourselves and, be in our truth and make sure that, we're ready for the, whatever may come, that we're in our truth and we're ready to handle it in the best way that we can, that we're able to go after our desires. It's like Jupiter coming to 20 degrees today is a big deal. So Jupiter's finally starting to get moving here, and, it's the race to Aquarius on December 21st with Jupiter and Saturn. So I would say this is, we're looking at like all this Capricorn energy at 20 plus degrees. So this is intense Capricorn energy, especially for Capricorn. It's like, we're on the mission and we're so close to, figuring out our desires and getting to the top of the mountain and, making things happen. And we just got to keep going. And if it feels like, I would say for the rest of this year, we just got to keep trucking no matter what, and have our, vision and have our desires and be willing to go after them, and not give up. It can feel like you want to give up with these late degrees of Capricorn with all that heavy energy. So, especially Saturn, that's about ready to leave, go to his other home of Aquarius. So I think the structures that we want to build and create, we got to make sure they align with our deep desires and make sure that we're willing to look outside the box and, really individuate ourselves. I would say the more that you step into your truth and the more that you are able to not just go along with whatever is being pushed, whatever is being spelled in these crazy times too with the election, I think the more happiness you're going to find, Neptune is squaring the nodes. I mean, this is kind of just feeling like a spell. It's a crazy time, and this is only going to get more intense through November and December. So, we got to pay attention to our mental health. We got to pay attention to, our dreams. And I think we got to dream of a better environment that we can create for ourselves, and make sure that we're in our truth and we're not in some other agenda's truth. I would say that that's probably the most important thing moving forward. And this weekend's just kind of a lot of that. There's not a bunch of crazy aspects really hitting to speak of. It's just kind of this energy that's like ready to finish the job and like step into that true place of what you desire moving forward for this decade, and even the next 20-year cycle as we finish this cycle of Earth with the Great Conjunction and we move into air with Aquarius. So and it's interesting too that Uranus is in Taurus, where the last Great Conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn was in Taurus. So which was a lot about money and creating, the physical world that you want and building that. And now we're kind of coming into fixed air, So it's more mental. It's more about, individuating yourself from the consensus spells. And that doesn't mean, we don't play the game of Capricorn still. That's always a part of reality. But, it's just kind of doing it your own way, and that is the rebellious nature of Aquarius, is not caring what what anybody else thinks or what the norm is, and just doing it your way. So I'd say the Neptune square the nodes is a big thing to look out for. Venus is going to finish up the trines over to Saturn, so Venus is finishing up in Virgo, which is cool. Venus is coming into Libra, Venus's other home. So she's about to move into her dignified home, but she's got quite the battle there with, oppositions to Mars, squares to Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. So, I think there's definitely more relationship stuff coming up, and, we got to be willing to go deep and make sure we're going for what we want. I would say that emotionally, the more we can individuate with this, one aspect today that the moon is going to make with Mars is like, go after what you desire and don't let somebody else's beliefs or opinions take you out of your truth. And, it's kind of a lot of that energy for the day. We move to Sunday. That sun's going to move to 3 degrees. It's going to make the Cazimi with Mercury. So I would say that Sunday is kind of a powerful day too, even though that moon is going to be very void, of course, in Aquarius, really not hitting anything, but it will eventually ingress in the afternoon into Pisces, where it will trine the sun late at night. So, we kind of get this like breath of fresh air at the end of Sunday of, really stepping into where our dreams are. And I would say, looking at the big picture and what the big desires are, and, coming into a place of making that happen. And I would say that the more we can dream and the more we can, visualize what we truly want to create and what the rest of the cycle of our life is going to be, the more we can take advantage of this Capricorn energy to find that power and to get up to the top of the mountain and, make our desires come true and, leave behind what we don't need anymore. It's time to transmute what we don't need and just step into the connection with spirit and really the fundamental deep psychological needs as well. And then also the people in life, like Venus, about to come into Libra and finishing up. Like, we need pure relationships that, we could merge with, whether it's friendships, partnerships. They just have to be on the vibe. They just have to be deep. And I would say that there has to be a good connection, or it's just, it could just feel really, you could feel really, I don't want to say stuck, but we got to be putting our individual needs first and not just giving all of our energy to someone else. Like, I'm not by any means saying we shouldn't be mutual. There should always be balance, But I think we have to be careful with just doing everything for everybody else, trying to make them happy, because they're probably just energy vampires sucking your energy. And, you got to be aware of that stuff in this time. Again, it's kind of the same story this weekend. There's just not a lot of like heavy hitting big aspects. So, it's more of, really focusing on ourselves this weekend. And I think we're getting a big message from Spirit with that Kazemi, a deep one of like what the true desires are and how we're going to evolve and all the things in life, and, bringing it to mind so that we can really, I would say, move forward and merge with all the energies and all the people in life that are going to be long term, and to detach from anything that it just feels short term or just doesn't feel like it belongs. Like we got to transmute that energy. And I would say that we're going to get that like kind of message from Spirit. That's kind of what the Kazemi is, because it's when Mercury gets burned out from the sun. So from a helio point of view, the sun and Mercury, and then Venus and the Earth, but it's like, it's, literally the messenger Mercury crossing in front of the sun and getting burned out and just delivering that message to the Earth. So I think it's powerful. It's going to be deep. I think we're all going to have some psychological breakthroughs, and we have to be able to, use that energy and listen to that. And I would say this moon finishing up too in Aquarius is like trying to get our antenna way up there so that we can get this signal and not miss it, because we're going to need it. I think it's important to really be in like a zone of who you are right now, because the more you're not in your identity and the more you're questioning yourself, the harder I think it's going to be with more spells and with more, who knows what could come out. Like that's the thing right now, is anything could happen. The sun's going to oppose Uranus next week, so Mercury's going to come back and oppose Uranus again. I think the unexpected could just happen, and we're moving up towards a really big full moon as well, on the 16th, I believe. Nope, not the 16th. On Halloween. I don't know what month I'm in right now. On Halloween. So I think we need to take advantage of this time. And yeah, I'm trying to see if like anything's big is hitting, but just kind of the way things are at right now, there's not a lot of heaviness per se, but I think there's this kind of in between of like not knowing exactly what the desires are, and almost like a vulnerability to being manipulated if you're too stuck in that Capricorn system of this is how it should look, this is like we need to take information in our own way and look for the truth and be very mercurial, be very North Node Gemini, keep looking around. What actually is making sense? Is there any truth coming from anything being told to the general public? Is there? Maybe. But who knows? Yeah. So it's just kind of one of those weekends, but there's big stuff coming. So I think this weekend's a big time to not miss out with this void of course moon on an important message, because other things in life are taking you out of, your focus of what you truly want to go towards, what the mission is and what you're here for. And I would say that is this weekend is getting ready for that, really, that message from Source that's going to be everything. I think it's going to let you know exactly what your desires are, and, have you look towards the long term with, tangible proof within your own psychology of yourself of why you're here and what you're meant to do, and to just grab a hold of that and own it and not let anything take you back, no matter how hard the top of the mountain of Capricorn gets as we close out this year, is just to keep pushing. The card for the weekend is the King of Pentacles reversed. I think this is more so saying right now that we don't know what reality is going to look like moving forward. And I think we just have to be able to listen to Spirit, trust the intuition, but also look for factual, cold hard proof for anything that's being pushed, for anything that people are telling you you have to do. Like, do you have to do it? It's up to you. I mean, I know we all have responsibilities in life, and Capricorn is responsibilities too, but I think we need to be responsible for ourselves more than anything, and I think we just need to not think we know exactly what is going to come, but we need to just be extremely curious and mercurial about it. And eventually, we are going to have a good, solid knowing of the mastery that we can create by stepping into our power in the purest way. And I would say that's kind of the vibe for the weekend. Yeah, I wish there was more. We're kind of coming off a bunch of heavy aspects, and just kind of is that. So I hope you have a good weekend. I hope you don't feel like things are missing too much. If they are missing and you just need to take a step back because of the void of course moon, by all means, now you know it's happening if you didn't know before. So, you kind of have that going. If you have to detach. I think there's a lot about that right now. Scorpio is detachment. Aquarius is, it's also detachment, but it's more of disconnection. So it's a lot of detach and disconnection energy in the chart as well. And, I think Uranus and Taurus is trying to show us a whole new world that we could step into. And it can really be something amazing. But, I think we have to be curious still and not think that we have it all figured out. I will tell you right now, I have no idea what's coming. It's hard to predict even. And, I just think we can all feel a big change is taking place and has already started to take place. And I think we just need to let the plan unfold that God has, in the divinity that we are connected to of Source and God. And it's just going to work out. And, the more we can take care of our business and be responsible for our life, the better off it's going to be. And I honestly believe that no matter what manifests in this world, as long as we have that connection and we have our truth and we have our identity and we know who we are and we know why we're here and we know where we're going, we're going to have it all figured out. But, it's a weekend to be smart, and I think it's a weekend to dream too as we finish out in Pisces. Those dreams and those visions they can be everything. If you're willing to put the work in and you're willing to do the work on yourself to get what you need, I think it can be a powerful weekend. But it could also feel like, where am I going? And we got to be able to decipher that. I'll stop rambling now. I love you all very much. I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you for the weeklies for all the 12 signs. And I will see you Monday for Monday's horoscope. Love you all very much. Take care. Peace.